Good morning and happy Friday. Today's class is Remine Pro for CMA. And I want to get started by letting you know that the CMA, it may be part or key to the success of most realtors. And as Miami trainers, we offer you a series of courses and CMA tutorials. We offer you classes in IMAP, RPR, Realist, 301 for Matrix, which includes the CMA within the system. And we offer a CMA workshop class. I've gone ahead and via the chat sent you the CMA workshop paperwork, an information sheet for you to have. And I also invite you to consider taking the Pricing Strategy Advisor, which is a course that your Miami trainers have been certified to provide to you. And it is a certification that you can take. We will be providing it this fall. I believe that the PSA will be offered in October, and you should see it soon coming to our calendars. And what the Pricing Strategy Advisor does is help you understand a bit of what the appraiser does and enhances your creativity and how you should create the CMA. With that, the CMA is an art. And what we're going to do today is talk a little bit about Remine and how you can use it for branding and to make it easy for you to create a CMA. Now, in the chat, just so that I know where you're from or where you're located, give me a location where you're at. Excellent. Miami Lakes, Miramar. Alrighty, so we have some Dade and some Broward. Perfect. Perfect. Now, of course, to go ahead and take Remine, we're going to come to our homepage. Alrighty, Ruth West Kendall, excellent. I'm in the Redlands, close to the Redlands. Home, here's our Miami page. Here's our Miami Gateway, right? Here's the Gateway dashboard, and this is the icon for Remine Pro. Now, I want to remind you that we have a Remine Pro class. We have a class of Show Me the Money and more. And we also have a class on prospecting and farming that teaches you how to use this tool to its full potential. When you click in it, you're going to see that you arrive to a page much like this one. And of course, for branding purposes, since we are going to create a CMA, I'm going to go over a little bit of how you can create the branding in here. Has anyone taken a Remine class before? And you can always unmute yourself. I'd love to hear you too. All right. So we'll take a minute now, and we're going to come to the lower left-hand side where you see your name. And we're going to click in. Yanessa, you have excellent. And we're going to come to the settings area. Here in our settings area, you have the ability to add your photo. Now, the photo will appear in all your public-facing homepages, client portals, and also on your reports. They have the ability to show in your reports. So where I say change photos, you can add your photo. I would do so. You also have account preferences here, and I'm going to shift the chat so I can see it a little better. And you have edit account info here, so you can click into it and update it. Now, please remember that the contact details that you have here do come directly from the MLS. So changes you make here won't affect your membership. But if you need to make changes, the best thing to do is to email membership@miamire.com. You have Moody's add-on. So if you work commercial, you may be interested in adding this. But you do have display preferences, and you can click the edit button, and your office name does filter through. You can put your display name or license number, your display name, and here we suggest that you put your name, your title, any designations or certifications that you may have earned. In the display email, make sure to use the email where you would like your customers to write to. Display phone number, come in and type in. It's kind of easy, just type in the info. And any additional info. And I always like to shed light onto, does anybody else speak another language? Portugués, francés, español, right? Well, you can take a minute, and in the additional info, you could actually add something like that in so that your reports and info goes with that. And then, of course, you can come in and click on save here. And then we will continue. If you've never taken a Remine class, you may not know that you have a social profile that you can share for here. From here, this custom profile, you create it once and it is permanent. Mine is here. You guys would add yours. I want to show you what this looks like so you can see why it would be cool to create it. This is what we call an aggregator site, right? And what's neat about aggregator sites is that they help you with SEO, with search engine optimization, and people being able to find you. Now I have the tech series here because I'm an instructor, my company logo, which is the association, my photo. Of course, you see my welcome, right? And my message. And this is for a person to be able to come in and connect with me, but of course, come and connect with social media and get my information. So, what a great reference page that you can put onto social media, make part of your email signatures, and share. And this is a way for them to sign up to explore listings and connect with you in Remine. Remember that Remine is a cumulative modern MLS with tax service, right? And predictive analytics and so much more. So, it is, in fact, an MLS for you locally. Coming back into Remine to create this, of course, you would put in the name that you desired and you can copy and start to use. But then we need to personalize a bit more. Put in your logo here. Choose a background or upload a background. So you can choose one of the images that they have or change and put your own. And then start working on your message. And to do that, you click edit and notice how mine was in English and Spanish. Well, if you spoke another language, you could put that as well. And I put my message in both. You can do that as well. And I click save. And then you have your social media. How many of you already have your social media pages? All right, Ruth. Well, guess what? Working on it is better than no, I don't. Even if you have one, that's more than one more than you had before. What's WHIP? Hey, Instagram works. Alrighty, so what I want you to see here is that you can edit this and whatever you do have, you would add in. Now, does anybody use WhatsApp? You see, I don't Snapchat, so it's not there, right? And I don't use Google Map, so it's not there, but it doesn't appear on my page either. So only what you use would appear. Well, I always like to share that this is your WhatsApp link, and most of us don't know how to add that to things. So this is mine. And then I always like to share with you that this would be yours. This last link that I sent, you copy that, and right behind the one, you would just put the phone number you have, 305 or 954 or 754 or 786, and that would be the link to your WhatsApp. The reason I share that with you is that you can add that to your email signatures. Now, the rest of you, you know how to copy paste your Instagram, etc., or you want me to show you? Well, you're very welcome. If that's the only thing you learned today, believe it or not, I will be very happy because when I did find that out, I thought, wow, because how many of us like solely communicate on WhatsApp? I know with my team, we do continuously. So it's such a great platform. It sends files quickly, so much to do. So there's always something new to learn. And this isn't just good for your business, it's just good, period. So I'll show you Instagram, right? Anybody want to see how to get your Instagram? So you know that you can now log into Instagram for your computer. So you would log in and you would come to your page, right? So let me go ahead and log out of this one and log into my business page. and click here. And your Instagram profile is the one you see here. And this is what you would copy up top. You would come back to Remine and you would paste it in. Now, would you guys give me 2 minutes or 5 minutes? 5 minutes. Can I come right back? I'll be right back. Alrighty, thanks for that. Now that's that you did here with Instagram. We would go ahead and we would do with Twitter, Facebook, etc. Would you like me to show you the others as well? No, maybe. All good. All right, we can continue. Once you do that section, we would click on save, right? And then you have a display setting, whether you want your active and recently shown to show, if you would like to get offers through the system, if you would like to chat, etc. And all of you have a pro plan. In April of 2020, right after the pandemic, the association decided to give everyone who was a Miami member access to Remine Pro, which meant that you got information, contact details, and so much more that the system offers for free. So with that done, that's part here of your display. You would be complete with your display area. And now we're getting ready to come back into the daily. When you take a Remine class, we go over this daily area where you can personalize it to be all about you, your market pulse, and listing updates for the areas that you work in. But I always like to give a little peek. You can come into here and actually get the weather for your area. Today, it's going to be a rainy day in my area, it seems. But if I needed to change it, I could come and click into here. And let's say my zip code is 33187. I click enter and done. And I can now see that it is 85, right? And mostly cloudy, right? It's going to be thunderstormy today. I can also come into here, right? And change it whatever I need to. I can change it from Celsius to Fahrenheit by zip code. Another thing that I can also do is have a market pulse information for my area. So one of you said that you were in Miami Lakes. Would you give me the zip code or a zip code in Miami Lakes, Barbara? Alrighty. So if I wanted information on Miami Lakes, I could just type it into a market pulse. And I could see today, yesterday, last 7 days, last 30 days, and see what's happening in the area, the average valuation estimate, the absorption rate in the area, the actives, the under contracts, the canceled, the closed, the coming soons right here. I could also get listing updates in the area and have the system speak to me. So let's say the last 7 days, and I could see the activity in the vicinity. All of this from our daily. So this would be a way for you to maybe be having breakfast, your coffee, if you juice your juice, etc., and have your information right at your fingertips. Nice, huh? Next, we're going to come to the search area. And this is partially where we would do a listing or a property search, either or. And we teach that in a Remine Pro class. But we're going to come up here and we're going to talk about creating the CMA in the system. And I have a couple of things that I want to show you. And then we'll ask you if we'll do one in Miami-Dade and one in Broward. And I'll ask you if there's something you would like to see. What I really want to show you here is the ease of how you can do this. In the CMA workshop class, that's where they go over ideas and notions of how you should conduct it. But I do want to give you some tips. There is the rule of the 20%. You should probably say 20% within the size of a lot, right? The size of the square footage, right? You should try to stay also within the beds and baths or the square footage. And then you should also try to stay at the same kind of story. So if it's a one-story home, compare it to a one-story home. Also, the property type. If it's a duplex, you compare it to a duplex. If it's a triplex, you compare it to a triplex. If it's a single family home, you compare it to a single family home and such items like that. So we're going to come into here and I want to show you that you can put an address on the very top. And right now I wanted to put 4442. And I want you to see that as I start typing, it starts to give me addresses here. And I start to fill in my information and it will suggest properties to me. So for me to select it, I come to the property details and I click. The property details, once I click on it, will bring me to a page. You see the additional tab opens and I will see information on if it was on the market, when it closed, the price, the beds, bath, the square footage, the year built. It'll tell you the type of property, if there's an HOA. I can see the photos if it was on the MLS. I can scroll down and get some listing details. I can see the remarks and showing instructions, who it was, that was the agent, sold information, the building square footage. I also get public record, value, net equity, net percent of equity, parcel detail, flood risk. I have a FEMA map number, a location, and this is an enclosed community, but we'll try street view. And what you get is from the street from the outside, you see. Key information, absentee owner, yes. Square footage, most recent, assessments, assessed value, market value, property history. So you have background on it, mortgage history, school information if needed, valuation, and then the valuation according to and what the sources are from. Air DNA, and you can see an estimate here. Demographics for the area. And owners associated people. If it were on sale, you would not be able to see the contact details, but we do have these contact details for the people associated. Now I'm going to come back to the top. And if I were working on a CMA for this, there's a couple of things I could do with a customer. I could actually print from here, and there's an agent full version and a client full version where I can choose to add details, right? If I wanted to add valuation, I could select which ones. Now, this isn't a CMA, but it is a report that I could ask to print. And it would create this. A report on the property with your information, property address, the date of the report creation, courtesy of, and your information, photo, location, listing details, right? Interior feature, tax detail, occupancy information, parking, right? Enclosed detail, flood risk, valuation, demographic, and transactional history. This would be great for a buyer, seller, etc., correct? That again was just a print for customer. You could also come in here and get a printout, which is just a public record, one page on the property, and print. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is that you may be doing this CMA for a listing presentation. You may be doing this CMA because you're going to work with a buyer. And here you have a one pager with how long it's been owned, the occupational status, address, location, right? Building features and property history. How many of you like that? You can print this for as many properties as you want, Ruth. You just do it one by one. The one pager is clean, right? I like it. It's very efficient. It's very clean. Next, I'm coming back to the property. Now, remember, I'm not doing a CMA yet. I was showing you different reports that you could prepare if you're working on a presentation on the property. If you're working to go discuss with a person. Now the CMA is here. Create the CMA, and you have Remine CMA 360. And you're going to set your parameters. And I did exactly what I promised myself I wouldn't do. So I'm going to come right back. And it's a 2,200 square foot. 2,200 square foot. Create CMA. So really, I'd like to compare it to something similar. Not really that much more, right? And square footage would be 400 some less, 400 some more. So 1,800 to 2,600. And that's that 20% more, 20% less. And we teach that in a CMA workshop class. And I'm really going to just leave it there. And if you notice here, if I go any further in distance, I may be going where? Outside of the subdivision. Because if I did half a mile, I'm coming away from 45th Street. So depending on where you're located, let's first see here. Let's see what happens. The time frame is already set to 6 months. So I'm going to search. I actually get here, closed on the MLS 4. Expired, I really don't want, so I'm going to remove. Pending, I might want to discuss that with my customer. Now, this is my property in question, and look at the proximity. Close on the MLS, I have this one. This one, you see how they're moving? Look how close that one is. And look at the pricing. Now, this one, even though the square footage is okay, is much different. Look at the other ones. This was a bit more, okay, but this one is too. We can leave it for reference. Active. Look at what they're actively going for. Now, I would want to peek at these, don't you? it's really not that much different from maybe it had a pool. I don't remember the one we were looking at having a pool. But that's a lot, right? And this one, now the pending one is in the right price. And let's get that one. Okay, so here's a choice. These are really far off what has sold. Now, if we don't put them, you don't think your customer that's selling right here is going to know? So do we add them and we tell them that we find those a bit off? Or do we not add them and tell them what we've seen sell and we add that pending that is truly within a range? And this is why this is an art. I'd leave them and I'd explain. Yep. I would explain that even the pending one is at 650 and that seems the appropriate price considering the previous sales that were here that were at 650, correct? But that these seem way off market considering when you look at the properties, they weren't all, with the best of upgrades or most up to date. So I would leave them and explain the valuation and what I think. So I would go here to save and continue. And what I like about the report is that it's customizable. You can choose if the company that you work with is here, or you can click custom colors. You can come and select your colors. If you know the hue tone, you can select it, or you can come and use, let's say the graph. Let's say you have like a silver. Let me move this. Let's make it like that. Let's see, those were the color schemes for your office. You can upload your company logo, upload your agent photo, put your customer's name. Your name, save and continue. And this is a preliminary of the report, right? Here you would explain your actives. Okay. And you could click print. You could include with or without images, include valuations or not, and click to print. Not only do we not know what they're closing at, Janessa, we can only take the information that we have, and I love that you said that has already closed, and maybe consider the pending, which was well within what we could strive in the area. But the other ones were 100K and 150K more. It's a lot, right? So this is your preview, but look, here's the actual one where your photo, if you integrated, and your logo, your information, personalized for the customer, your name, the date, the address, demographic information on the area, square footage, bed, bath, half bath, subject property, created, comparables. I would discuss immediately what? These two actives and say why this price is off. Look at the valuation. And then why this one pertains more and more to the actual sale price and how these two are in conjunction with the pricing, and this even looks, so there you go. It's short, it's precise, and it's easy to use. Now, what I really like, if I close this out and I come back to the property and I click create, it will save it for me. Okay. All right, let's do one more. We'll come and we'll do a search. Let me close out some of these. Let's do one in Broward. Let's start typing in an address. Does anybody have an address that they'd like to use, or do I just use one? Okay, 9700 Northwest. Oh, I thought I was typing. 9700 Northwest 18th. And it's this one in Plantation. And I want the property, so I click on property details. Alrighty, here's the property. I can see the images. Okay. Again, you can get the details. You can come all the way down and see the owners and associated people. I do invite you to take a prospecting and farming class and see how we leverage that. Demographics, estimates on air DNA. Okay. Evaluations. And then we'll come to the top. We're going to start creating our CMA here. Remine CMA. I believe that this was a 3-3. And oops, I forgot the square footage. Just click back. 20, almost 2,200. So like the one before. Oops. Here it is. I love that it saves the info. Here it is. So 2,200. Create CMA. Remine. So 3, 4, 3 to 4. And then the same as before, 1,800 to 2,600. Now question. How many of you think that you would also want to see what another system would do? How many of you would like to integrate this or use this in conjunction with what the MLS has? The idea here is to give you as many options as possible, because who needs to feel comfortable with the information is you and who you present it to. So we're going to finish here, and I'm going to probably have a couple minutes, and I'm going to show you quickly how you can do something like this on IMAP with both addresses. Would you like to see that? Because I can show you that, and then if you take a 301, you will see how you can do it in Matrix, and then you can come to a CMA workshop and you'll almost have everything that you could do. Got it? All right. Hey, Jaylyn, you chimed in. Great. I see you guys. I see the names. Alrighty, so we're gonna come in and we're gonna do the same. We'll leave it. I didn't purposely do that, but look, it's also going like on another side. So let's try to leave it here and let's search. And there was no results. So let's expand. Yeah, sometimes you have to move. There really were no results. This one, it may be a little further. All right, so we're gonna look at the closed, right? And we're gonna see this one 3-3, and it is on the smaller side, right? And this one is a little closer, right? Because our property has, I believe it was 2,100 square feet, almost 2,200. And here's another one, but they're on the other side of the street. But I'm going to have to deal with that because guess what? My property in question is here and I really don't have anything other than number one in the proximity. Look at that. These are all closed, but this first one is kind of small in comparison, and these two are quite larger. So I think I'm going to remove this one and remove this one because those are substantially larger, correct? These are almost the same, and this is smaller, but 3 is almost safer, correct? And then let's look at this active one is way more. So let's peek. I'm gonna look at the map here. I'm gonna move you guys so I can move the map. And the only thing I have as a reference is this one, these two, and this guy over here who looks like it's in a different area. In this case, because it's on the other side of this road like this, and it's way off in pricing, and this one does have an additional bed and a lot more square footage, I'm going to remove. It's not like the other one that was super similar and right in the same subdivision. Here, I'm going to be safe with my 3. I chose my 3, and I come here and I click save and continue now. If I needed to, I could always come back to edit criteria and move stuff around. All right. I really could do that. Move stuff around, choose something else, and I'm going to save and continue with the one I've chosen. My logo and information is already here. I could add my customer's name. Okay. It'll appear. Save and continue. And now I have my price range. Now, I'm going to go ahead and print. And we'll make sure to see it. But that one that was 400,000, I would open up that individual one and peek at it and see if I can compare it. And when I went to speak with my customer, I always think that if you take your computer, it's king. So this one was 420 was the sold price. It looks nice. And then you had this one at 430 and this one at 540, right? And the dates were not far from. Okay, so 32, 32, 32. This one is just a little smaller. These are very similar, correct? This is a newer home. So I would look at all 3 and look at their pictures. I mean, we have them, why not? And this would be another way to prepare. It's a corner lot. You get the idea these weren't their best pictures? You see, I don't know if that's single family. Could that be it? Let's look at this one. That's why you have to look at these things one by one by one. This looks more like the other one. There's only one picture. All right. So our address in question, I'm going to come into here and I'm going to show you quick as a tip how to use IMAP when you're doing these. Here is IMAP. Now, have you taken an IMAP class? IMAP is one of those tax tools, premium tools that people just love. People will mention. And one of the tips I can tell you immediately is that the first thing you need to do is change the county when you're going to come in. So we're going to do Broward because I was going to do that address. And it works, property address, and you have to shift and change it here. So I'm going to come in and put the address that we were looking at, which is 9700 Northwest 18. And I'm not going to put anything else because in IMAP less is more. Now, property address contains. In here, you could come and look for subdivision info. We actually use this to get subdivision information and then get everybody in a subdivision. And then you can sort it by homeowners that are out of the country, in the country, those that do claim homestead exemption and not, etc. There's a whole show me the money class with this, but this is just to show you the CMA. And I'm going to click on search. Right, and I get a couple of these come up, and it's this one because it's the manor. So I'm going to click here. I like to show you that these that have like little signs are because realtors are involved. All right. And you have last sale information here, who the owners are, if there's water frontage, market valuation, assessed value, property ID, bedrooms and baths, total square foot living area, year built, land area, etc. Everything in like a little space. And this is the one that we're going to look at. So we're going to click on the property ID number. And you have the information here, the current owners. This is the property address. And I guess they live there because this is the tax info. It looks active. These are exterior features and building information. Building area, living area, screen enclosure. Okay. And this is our lovely button, find comparable. Now you can come into the system, and once you find your property, you click find comparable. And what you're going to do is plus or minus 20, plus or minus 20, located within half a mile, sold within the last 6 months, and all the other criteria comparisons you put ignore and you set those as default. So this area here you can take a picture of, go ahead and do so, and you can set that up. Now this is what we call a quick report. And investors tend to like these because these are a one-page report that have a whole bunch of information. You have all the details on the property up here. This is the estimated price range, right? And notice that we have this $800-some thousand property we're going to go peek at now. I'm just going to give you one more second if you were taking a picture. Now you can always come and change this. Like I could always come into here and put in same subdivision and update the criteria, and then only have that one property in the same subdivision show up. That's not enough. So I'm going to come back and still do half a mile. Update the criteria, but then I need to see this is, overall similarity. sale date, sale price, square footage, and order by distance. So I'm going to organize them by distance, and this is the closest, right? Last sale, last sale, last sale. This one is steering us off. And this one needs to come out too. The $64 per square foot. And this one's way high. We could look into it, but And still I'd look further. Why was this one $430? Even though it was sold with a realtor, right? Now, these are further away. These are further away. These are 0.48 miles, so I could easily just remove if I wanted to. And I could take this one off. And this would be the basis, because those really are far away. These are 0.3, 0.2. That's very close in square footage. And I do want you to note this. Did you see how sometimes there's no bed and baths? That sometimes happens in Broward. That's why the square footage here, living area, is what we look at. That's why we ignore the bedroom and bathroom. Because at Broward, you'll get instances where this is reported like that without the bed and bath. Okay. Do you like this report? And what's nice about this is that you can save it as a PDF. It has a map, it has a detail, and it's a one-pager. So what I'm going to do is, if you're interested to have like a sample, I'm going to come to my downloads and I'll share these two with you. And if you want, you can click in the chat and you'll be able to keep them as a sample. One of them, the first one I sent now, is from IMAP, the one that's just one page. And then you have, I think it's a 3-pager, 4-pager from Remine for the CMA. And with that, unless you have any questions, I've concluded the class. I thank you so much for being Miami members and for having spent this morning with me. I gave you 2 not 1 options for a CMA. Remember, I told you about the CMA workshop class. We have those recorded. We have recordings like this available. I sent you earlier. Oh, anytime. I sent you earlier. I hope you got it. The information on the CMA workshop, which included tutorial. And if you want, I can repeat and copy that and paste it in. Remember that your Miami trainers are always available to you. trainers@miamiare.com. My name is Connie, so my email is connie@miamiare.com. Again, thanks so much for being Miami members and for having joined me today. Have a great day. The tutorials, we have an excellent piece right here. I'll send it just alone. If you click on the link, you have it there. Jaylin, I've been at the association 8 years as of April 7th. I do new member orientation and I teach products and services. Robert has been in the industry for quite some time, first as an agent and then as an instructor, and Christy has as well. So in conjunction, all three of us, not four of us, have over 40 years of experience. And we try to share it. And I'm the one with the least experience and most age. We're also are certified with ePro. We are RPR instructors. We are Florida Realtor instructors. We take what we do. We really enjoy it and take it seriously. Yes, yesterday's class for a new. I don't know if I thought I had shared it, but I'll take a minute now. We have a YouTube channel created for you guys. And the new construction portals. Oh, I should have just put it over here. You search here, not what I did. So you can do something like this. That was a little older. This one has the update.
This is Monday.com CRM, a CRM you'll actually want to use. Capture and collect.
Welcome.
Let me go ahead and share this with you. Oh, you come, Jalen, and get as much as you like. We're always here. We're always trying to create new things, and we look forward to sharing what we know. You guys take care. I hope to see you around. See you soon.